Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here today with John Willis. John is a former Secretary of State of Maryland. He's a professor of government and public policy at the University of Baltimore, and he's a senior counsel in our office. And because we are about to have an election next Tuesday on June 2nd, thought it'd be a good time to talk to John and get the benefit of his expertise. So, John, tell us, what's the safest way to vote?
Well, given the coronavirus pandemic, the State Board of Elections is encouraging everybody to vote by mail. Now, that's a significant task with almost 3.6 million ballots having been mailed to Maryland voters in mid-May. And so people are starting to return. As of today, about 20% of the ballots have been returned. We're probably at least hopefully double that by next Tuesday. And so do vote by mail. But if you can't, you have a problem. They do have vote centers open on June 2nd in every county in Baltimore City.
So what's the deadline by which voters must vote their ballots, turn them in?
Well, the most important thing, if you want to return your ballot by mail, is to make sure it's postmarked on or before June 2nd, the date of the presidential primary election. And the other important thing on returning your ballot by mail is sign the back envelope to make back of the envelope that you were provided to make sure that the Board of Elections can identify you.
And explain again, if you can't vote by mail, what should you do?
Well, if you can't, you have a number of options. One is you could take advantage of the vote centers on election day. Second is you can request and take advantage of Maryland's electronic ballot delivery. For example, if you're a person with disabilities and you need to have the assistance of a marking device to cast your ballot, you can download that ballot, mark it on your own device at home, and then make sure it either gets mailed or delivered. Another option that is available is if you can't get to a mailbox, you can't get to a post office, there are 68 different ballot drop box locations throughout the state, at least 2 in every jurisdiction. And in Montgomery County and Baltimore City, there are 7 places to drop your ballot into a rather large, oversized ballot box that's clearly marked. You can find the exact locations on the State Board of Elections website. Just Google Maryland State Board of Elections.
That's great. So how do you know if you're registered to vote?
Well, you can call. There is a lookup tool on the State Board of Elections website, www.elections.maryland.gov, and go to lookup tool. And there is a way for you to find out if you're registered. Or you can simply call 1-800-222-VOTE. And someone there at the State Board of Elections can look it up for you.
And what if you're not registered to vote? Then what do you do?
If you're not registered, it's too hard to do exchange back and forth with the election board. But we do have an online registration tool. But to be sure, you can also show up. We have same-day registration in Maryland, meaning that you could show up on election day and register to vote and vote on the same day in Maryland. And we've had people take advantage of that. We've had it since 2016, and people have taken advantage of it in early voting. And we just did it again this past February for the congressional special election.
Okay, and how will you know that your vote has been counted?
Again, you can track the status of it by going to the State Board of Elections website, and you can track to see if your ballot had been received, and then you can check to see if it's counted. The election is not over on June 2nd. we actually allow ballots, as long as they're postmarked or they're delivered to one of these drop boxes by 8 p.m. on election day. The board takes about 10 days to receive all the ballots coming from here in Maryland and around the world. And so you have an opportunity to cure your ballot if, for example, you forgot a signature or to verify that it was in fact received. So we have those fail-safe opportunities in Maryland that voters can feel good about.
Okay. And what if your address has changed since the last time you voted? What do you do about that?
Well, that gets complex. I've taught 50,000 election judges in the last 15 years. And the rule is this: if you move less than 3 weeks, then you can still vote at your own regular precinct, and you'll get a ballot assigned to that precinct location. If you move longer than 21 days prior to the election, you should file a change of address form. And again, you can either do that online, you could do it in person on election day at one of the vote centers. But it won't impair your ability to vote. If you have, in fact, say you show up at a vote center and you've moved from one county to another, you move from one part of the city or from one part of the county to another, it may affect the type of ballot you get, but not your fundamental right to vote.
Okay. And what do you do, or who do you call if you don't get a ballot in the mail, or you have another problem casting your ballot?
Well, this actually happened. This problem happened in the primary, the 7th Congressional District primary. There were people, because there were some ballots that were mailed late, and that also happened in the current election. And people did not receive their ballot until the day before the election. I know people in my neighborhood who got their ballot on election day. So if you haven't received your ballot, call the State Board of Elections or your local Board of Elections, and they can get a ballot replacement to you. You could either have somebody, you could pick it up. You might be able to do the electronic ballot delivery and mark your ballot yourself, or get the ballot sent to you electronically, mark it yourself. You'll have to then provide your own envelope. With the one that you get from the state, that's postage prepaid. But if you're using the electronic process, you have to put the postage on it, or delivered to one of the conveniently located drop boxes. So there's no excuse for not voting. We give all kinds of options for voters, and we're excited to see how this process works on a statewide basis. This is the first time we've ever done it on a statewide basis.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Willis, and thanks to all of those who are watching this. Please don't forget to vote next Tuesday, June 2nd, and don't forget to sign the back of the envelope. That's critical. If you fail to do that, your vote will likely not be counted. So we're counting on everybody to get out and vote, or get out and mail in your vote. Thanks for watching.